Hello, everybody, and welcome to Canadian Stacker. Today, I just figured I'd do a quick live video on a couple of topics that have been popping up, and one of them being that silver drop that we had there on Friday. I did discuss it in one of my videos there that I figured there'd be a good sizable pullback in silver. Well, we saw it, and my reasons and thoughts behind why I think this might have happened. Well, the government in the States, I think they've decided they're going to do another rate hike, and that is strengthening the US dollar. Plus, I think there were a couple of positions that needed to sell, and that would put some pressure on. And I think that might be why silver kind of dumped down on us on Friday. Do I see this as affecting the market long term? No, not really. I do see the price possibly going down a little bit, but ultimately it's going to go up. I think the Fed's going to do some more tightening, but once they do that full pivot, silver is going to be and gold is going to be off to the races. Basically, right now the U.S. dollar I think has one last run in it. When they start loosening off and all that, things are going to be good for 2, maybe 3 months, and then we might wind up seeing, I figure late summer, probably. I don't know, August, maybe September, we're going to see some serious changes. And I think they're going to be the final changes towards de-dollarization. A lot of countries are talking about it now. Real estate is slowing. You can see it in my area. There are for sale signs up now that have been up for a long time. Last summer, if it went up, it disappeared. I live in the Ottawa River Valley. I'm currently filming, in one of my places I go to go fishing. This is a favorite ice fishing spot. You can still kind of make out the little roads, and like all fiat currencies that have been tried, and all debasing that's been tried. Well, it's starting to melt. The U.S. dollar is starting to fade away. So it's sort of like this ice that's in front of me, and I think we're getting into that final stretch where things are going to change, and I don't know what's going to become the new thing. I don't know what's really going to happen, but I do know that silver and gold, have positioned well. If we look back to when we had the inflation back in the 80s, in the 70s, there silver did incredibly well. Like it went up large. So did gold. I think we're in another one of those times where the value of silver and gold are going to go up. And we're not talking a little bit. I'm thinking a lot. There's a gentleman that puts out videos quite often. His name's Rafi Faber. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. One of the guys I like to listen to, along with like Economic Ninja and other channels. I really enjoy them, and they've been talking pretty much the same way that I've been thinking. Where real estate, and I'm referring to commercial real estate, goes, I think the market will follow. If you look, there's been a lot of closing down of businesses like Best Buy in the U.S. Around my area, there's been a lot of our local companies that have gone tank, and it's not fun to watch. Our small towns that are in the area that I live in, they have a lot of empty stores downtown. You go out of town, and some of the big box stores that we're used to seeing, they've gone the way of the dinosaur. When I was a young man, there was Woolworths, and there was Sears, and a Kmart, and a whole bunch of other places in Canada. And in 2008, we had the financial crisis, and then the big unwinding, and a bunch of big stores went under. And I think we're getting back to that point now where a bunch of box stores are going to go under, and it's just a matter of time before the real estate, and I'm referring to commercial, goes down. And it's part of the cycle. Every currency has a cycle. The U.S. dollar is no different than the Roman Empire 2,000 years ago. The Romans originally, they had 100% silver in their money, and then they debased and went to 90 to 80, all the way down to 10%. And they had the same thing that we have now, bread and circus. I'm thinking what's going on in the political environment is like the bread and circus. what's going on with in the US with like Donald Trump and Joe Biden and the arrest and everything. It's just like all circus for you to watch, something to distract you from the fact that the BRICS nations are making these moves. What's going on over in, like Ukraine, watching that war drag on in slow motion, and, like literally, hundreds of thousands of people, being killed and millions displaced. And, we've got the most important thing on TV right now is the fact that Donald Trump got arrested. Meanwhile, you got the debasement of the American currency, you got debasement of the Canadian currency, you got all these scandals, and don't look at that. Just watch this dumpster fire over here. Meanwhile, you've got the best financial thing in your life that you could probably get into. Now, this isn't financial advice because I can't give any, but like silver is going to go to places that I don't think that people will expect. And I'm not saying that, you're going to be able to buy like a house with 70 ounces of silver or anything like that. But what I do think is going to happen is that your silver is going to hold its purchasing power. And if you have enough silver, you will be able to protect yourself, and gold and other precious metals. Food is included in these thoughts as well. Without food, you have problems. I don't know if any of you done research, but in Zimbabwe and their hyperinflation, it took a gram of gold to buy a dozen eggs. It took 5 ounces of silver to buy a dozen eggs. So try to remember that food also in that peak inflationary period when you can't find anything is the most important to keep your wealth. And the ability to trade and barter with it will be important, just as important as constitutional silver or Canadian 80%. It's important to have that in your preparation as well. So when you're thinking long term, you better be thinking about food, you better be thinking about water, you better be thinking about your metal, pay off your debts. Debt is the worst thing I think we could have. For the last 4 years, all I've been doing is focusing on paying off my debts. I was in debt up to my eyeballs 5 years ago. I owed a huge mortgage. I owed credit cards. I owed everything on my truck. Like I had all those debts, and for the last 5 years, I've pretty much been living in austerity, and I've paid off my credit card. My house is paid off. I don't owe debts. I started piling up the silver and the gold about 2-3 years ago, and I think that the only thing that can save us is ourselves, and if we all work together, maybe we can save a few other people along the way. We could work together to, build the future that we want for each other. So I don't know what else to tell you guys today, but just keep stacking, keep prepping, and I hope that you all are doing very well, and I hope you have a blessed and wonderful remainder to your weekend, and thank you very much for watching. Canadian Stacker out.